And like I say, as I watch all of these stuff from Will Ospreay, I just can't help but think AEW now have a face of the company. It's this guy. The crowd are behind him. Will Ospreay is the face of AEW, and he's been here for like 5 minutes. It's crazy. Like, there is gonna be nobody that topples him from this. And you can see the passion and the love for AEW, the love for Tony Khan, being able to do what he does best on a large platform compared to where he's previously been. Given the conditions to, you know, go home and be a family man and then come to work, fly in for work every Wednesday, I just feel like everything is working and moving in the direction that Will Ospreay needs it, including the fans, and I feel everything is gonna just fall in place for him. Now, we can't talk AEW Dynasty without talking about Will Ospreay. Billy Goat, this guy is unbelievable. He is fantastic. He is the best wrestler on the planet right now. The absolute best wrestler on the planet. What he does between the ring, outside the ring, on the sides, on the barricades, this guy is incredible. And I just feel like he is the leader of the new school. Like, you know, you listen to people nowadays and they're like, you know, my favorite wrestler was a Shawn Michaels, a Stone Cold Steve Austin, a Bret Hart, all of these legendary names. We are, you know, class away of people saying that they grew up watching Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay was their guy, and he absolutely deserves all of these praises and accolades because he is a terrific wrestler. And let's be honest, he's been a terrific wrestler for a very, very long time now, but now he is on the stage where people can see that he is just one of the world's best. And I don't even know any other way to put it. Like, when he was in Japan, he was accused of being, you know, the flippy flip guy, the flip flopper. All he knew was choreography and flips and stunts and all of that kind of stuff. And maybe at the time, to a degree, it was true, but he's far developed past that. And to be honest, if you have that kind of opinion on him now, it's just, you're just reiterating something you've heard someone else say online, or you're not watching wrestling with your eyes. Literally, like, because he is so much more than that. This is someone that, even if you look at that Will Ospreay that people accused of being a flip-flopper or whatever, that guy is long gone. The build, the physical build of this guy now is so different, and it's not just the high impact designer, high flying moves that he's capable of. He hits you with strikes, he can grapple, he can really wrestle, combinations, the sequences, everything like that. Like, there is nothing that is impossible for this guy, and it doesn't matter what your style is, because he'll find a way to mesh and give you the best match you've ever had in your life. He's literally a 5-star walking machine. And it's crazy to me to think that, you know, WWE didn't make the effort to sign him as much as almost they claimed that they wanted him. They made a lot of noise, like, we tried to sign Will Ospreay, blah blah blah. From Ospreay's accounts, it was like, well, they gave me a bit of a half-hearted offer, and then of course the package of how often I'm gonna wrestle, all of that stuff wasn't as inviting as AEW's. So yeah, AEW was where I wanted to be. I think WWE truly shat the bed with that one. I genuinely think that WWE were maybe thought he was still the flippy flop guy, and he was just heavy on matches, and he didn't know anything about entertaining and performing outside of said matches. And I think it's really surprising that if that was their line of thinking, then it's almost concerning who is doing your scouting, who is looking at the talents outside and people you want to bring into WWE. Now, at the same time, and I don't want to get too into this, it looks like more than anything, WWE is heavily invested in its youth, NXT, the Performance Center, the NIL program, and it's like, why do we need to spend loads of money on these current guys when we can wait a couple of years and build the next guy, or who could be the next guy? Invest in those kind of people like we see with Carmelo Hayes, a Bron Breakker. Those guys are going to be main event guys, but it's not now. You see what I mean? Whereas Will Ospreay was we are getting a main event guy now. So it's very interesting to see the different tactics, but I still truly think that WWE shat the bed. And obviously that led to the comments of, you know, Triple H, which was bitter bitter. It was bitter. There's no way to say it. It was very kind of below the belt. Like, oh, you know, what did he say? If you need to work half the time and all of this kind of stuff, you don't want to grind. I don't want you in my company anyway. Yeah, there's no need for that, because, you know, people work smarter. You get what I mean? It's like people work smarter, especially in this day and age where we have so much more education about injuries, concussion protocol, all of these kind of things. Why do I want to keep working for 5 days a week, running my body into the ground for what? Just for money? And from what Will said, like I said, they offered him less than what AEW offered anyway. I wouldn't take that deal. Triple H probably wouldn't take that deal. Triple H, you know, notoriously didn't turn up on SmackDown because he didn't want to work Tuesdays. He didn't want to grind. You see what I mean? It's a bit of a silly excuse. Triple H has a very famous friend called Kevin Nash, who was notorious for getting the most money for the least amount of work. And I don't shoot him down for that. Like, that's what we all want to do, right? You don't want to work a lot. You just want to get paid a lot and just work minimal. Like, who doesn't want to do that? So yeah, Triple H was out of order for making that jab. And we saw Will Ospreay make the retort on Dynamite a couple of weeks ago. And I thought it was really good of Ospreay to come out in the press conference following Dynasty to basically address that and say, on reflection, I shouldn't have done that. I'm above that. If I'm the best wrestler in the world, I do my talking in the ring, perform to the best I can. And it wasn't like an apology or anything like that. He said he doesn't regret it, but he said it's something that's behind him and something he's not gonna do again because it's below him ultimately. And that's just what I want from him. That's just what I want from AEW in general, because you said that this is where the best wrestle. So for the love of God, just wrestle. Keep the drama to the company that focuses on drama and entertainment with WWE. You guys just wrestle, because when you guys just wrestle, no one's better. And I say all of that. Toni Storm then went and had her press conference and made jabs left, right and center. It's just unnecessary at this point. But getting back to Will Ospreay, I just feel like through these performances he has for AEW, that he's literally just notching up one by one on his belt, just like it's nothing. He'll give you this kind of level of match on TV or on pay-per-view, backstage or in the car park, over water, under water. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, this guy is just gonna perform to such a high level, no matter the location, no matter the place, whether there are people watching, whether there's 100 people watching, whether there's 70,000 people watching. This is who he is. And from watching him come in at Revolution, to the TV matches he's had, to the crowd reaction he's been getting, to that fantastic match he had with Bryan Danielson at AEW Dynasty, which I'm 100% sure will be match of the year 2024. No matter who does your match ratings, who you want to listen to, anyone that watches WWE and AEW and maybe even New Japan fairly, that match will be match of the year. It's not going to get topped. And like I say, as I watch all of these stuffs from Will Ospreay, I just can't help but think AEW now have a face of the company. It's this guy. The crowd are behind him. Will Ospreay is the face of AEW, and he's been here for like 5 minutes. It's crazy. Like, there is gonna be nobody that topples him from this. And you can see the passion and the love for AEW, the love for Tony Khan, being able to do what he does best on a large platform compared to where he's previously been. Given the conditions to, you know, go home and be a family man and then come to work, fly in for work every Wednesday, I just feel like everything is working and moving in the direction that Will Ospreay needs it, including the fans. And I feel everything is gonna just fall in place for him. He is gonna be the poster boy. And I'm gonna liken Will Ospreay's rise in AEW and what I effectively think it will be him becoming the face of AEW to a certain David Beckham. There was a time David Beckham was the biggest footballer in England just by like popularity alone, and he made a big transfer move over to Real Madrid. And this is that move. I think this is almost that move for Will Ospreay. He's become a Galactico over in AEW, and he's a poster boy. He's an absolute poster boy. Like, I just think it's a matter of time before maybe other entities, mainstream media, sponsorships start falling and, you know, falling at the feet of Will Ospreay, because the crowd swell around him. And especially the whole thing where, you know, the US, they love a Brit, they love the accent, they love it, they love the cheeky chappiness. Like, Will Ospreay, everything is working in his favor. And I know, you know, we're living in an era now where, as of the time of recording, Swerve Strickland is the AEW world champion, but unfortunately he's not the top guy in AEW. Will Ospreay is. And I hate to kind of pit them against each other. Many have said this before. It's almost like this ticking time bomb that Swerve Strickland is on right now. Just becoming AEW World Champion is a ticking time bomb until Will Ospreay takes that title. Maybe 4 to 5 months we're looking at, and then we're going to have a new World Champion, because there's only going to be a certain amount of time they can keep Ospreay and Swerve Strickland away from each other. We're finishing 2024 with Will Ospreay with that title, because Will Ospreay is the face of AEW.